Hey guys, it's Lee here. Welcome to iMineBlocks. This is another video that I'm uploading for you guys to share with you my mining experiences and the things that I'm doing with crypto mining in general. So this video, what I've actually done previous to this video is I've actually built a GPU rig frame. So it's a wooden frame, so I'll just show you exactly what it is. So it's basically this thing here, which is obviously a wooden frame, and this is the front end here, and then so what you have is your GPU cards, graphics cards lined up 1, 2, 3, 4. This can actually accommodate 6. So I've just thought I'd share that with you. This is something I made to replace that one over there, which is pretty tiny and feeble and a bit flimsy. So I built this to replace that and a few other additions to it as well. So what I'm going to show you is the end result, how this is used at the end. Like when it's basically fully loaded, and then I'll just go into exactly why I decided to sort of build this one, and then the last part will be just showing you the actual dimensions and stuff like that, just in case that's of interest for you guys and for you to build your own one. So this is something that's simple to build, anyone could do it at home with just some basic tools and supplies. So I thought that might be worthwhile to share with you guys. So let's jump over to the finished product now, and we'll continue on from there. Okay, so we've got the original frame here that I've been using for quite a long time. It's currently loaded with 4 graphics cards, and the main reason I'm actually sort of changing over from this one to the new one is because when I originally built it, I just built it in a rush. I didn't take any time with it, I just literally whacked it together, and it was kind of, that will do. But if I just show you, as you can see, it's a bit flimsy, a bit wobbly, and it wouldn't take much for it to sort of topple over. Also, what you notice as well is after a few days of sort of mining, I think just a general vibration, the cards tend to get like a little bit of a lean on. The wooden little stems that I've used are not really sort of strong enough. They are just a little bit flimsy overall. So that's one of the main reasons I wanted to build a new rig that was nice and strong and could take the weight of not only 4 graphics cards but also up to 6. So the new rig is actually going to be quite a bit longer. So the new rig is going to be coming out to about sort of this length. I'm not too sure how that comes out on the camera, but about a third extra in length. So one of the reasons for doing that is so I can have an extra 2 GPUs in the future, so a bit of upgradability. Obviously I'm going for strength, using thicker pieces of wood, so it has a bit more durability to it. The other thing that I wanted to do as well is actually have all the GPUs at the top, the motherboard at the bottom, but I also wanted to bring the actual power supply and build that into, or encompass that within the actual rig itself, and also the hard drive too, as well as all the cables and everything. So I could just have one more like a box kind of unit that would encompass everything. So that was kind of the thing that I'm going for with the new one. And the old one is okay for 4 cards, but really I just wanted to kind of just build a much better version of this basic kind of concept. So that is exactly what I've decided to do. Okay guys, so here's the actual frame set up exactly as it would be for GPU mining. So I've got 4 cards installed, I've got the motherboard underneath, I've actually got the hard drive sort of sitting flat there, and then the actual power supply on the side there. I think in the future I'll probably change the actual power supply arrangement around. At the moment the actual fan is kind of on the inside, which is not really the ideal position. So I think in the future I'll reverse that and have the fan on the external kind of side, and the hard drive I'll probably just put that along the side there, just give it a bit of extra sort of room and clearance. But there's pretty good clearance all through the actual sort of midsection for the cable management, and everything like that is all good. We've got the GPU power cables over the top, and that's okay. It's not super tidy, but it's certainly better than it was. The only thing I need to do now is I just need to secure the graphics cards to the front, just with a screw in each section. Just to secure those in, and then we'll be in a pretty good position from there onwards. And then I've got like a nice sturdy rig, so it's obviously not going to go anywhere. The graphics cards are nice and secure, and if I do decide to move it or change around, I've got more space to do that. And like I say, if I do decide to actually move it anywhere, I can just pick it up as one single unit, nice and safe and secure, and yeah, move it to wherever I need to. So that was the main thing I was going for, and I'm quite pleased with the end result. Okay, so I've just put the frame on the floor just because the lighting and everything's a little bit better. And in this section I'm just going to sort of explain the dimensions and the way I built it and why I chose to actually do that. So this is actually a really simple frame. There's not very much to it at all. So on the actual bottom, I just actually picked this up from the local hardware store. If you're in the UK, just went to B&Q and picked it up. So this is just a bottom basic shelf plate, just made out of pine. And then from there I sort of use that as a base or a foundation to kind of build everything up from. You can also build it without the bottom base, but I chose to do that so then I can have like a tray for the motherboard and also the power supply and stuff in there as well. And then what I've done is on top of the actual bottom base here, I've just kind of built a trim or a frame all around this outside edge. So that just runs around the whole piece. Let me just try and get it actually in frame. So this frame actually goes all the way around and it's just screwed into the actual bottom shelf plate on the bottom there. The actual sort of wooden sort of beams that I've used as well, they're just 2.1 centimeters square all the way around, and you can pick those up in like really long 2 meter long sections, or you can buy them in like 1 meter sections. So you can grab a couple of those. For this actual build I used 5 90 centimeter sections and had a little bit left over. Frame that runs all the way around the outside, kind of like the perimeter of the actual bottom shelf. And then from there we've got 4 uprights. So on the front we've got this one and this one on the end here, and then we've just basically got a bar across the top. So this is going to be where our actual graphics cards are. So just going to line up 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up to 6. And then on the back, just to show you, we've basically got the same thing, but this time it's a slightly shorter stem and the same bar that goes all the way down the back as well, and then obviously a short stem at the back edge there too also. And the reason for that is when your graphics card is going to be sitting, you're going to have the sort of the front of the graphics card up here, drop down, and then the back of the graphics card is going to sit on this part here. So you've got your front of the graphics card this side and the backs of the graphics cards on that side there. So they'll all line up nicely, and then obviously your motherboard and everything underneath. So that's the construction of it. It's pretty simple. It literally takes about an hour or so to build something like that, and yeah, that's going to do the job great. Okay, so I'm just going to go through each of the dimensions now. I'm just going to sort of quickly whip through the most important parts. So the bottom part, the bottom shelf plate, is 30 centimeters. I know the other dimension is 59 centimeters. So 30 by 59 centimeters. That is the bottom base plate, and that's probably a pretty good size for a 6-card GPU rig. Kind of the other important height would be the actual height of these risers here. So from the actual inner base, they are 26.5 centimeters high. So that's going to be the height for your front GPU mount. And then on the back, they are 17 centimeters high. So this back plate here, the lower one, is 17 centimeters. And obviously the front one was, what was that number again? 26 centimeters high on the front and 17 on the back. The actual depth, you also need to know the actual depth between, so the distance between the front bar and the back bar as well, and that's interesting to know. So if I use the actual inside markings, the distance there is 21.5 centimeters. So that's pretty much the most, or the main dimensions that you would need. The actual wooden beams are 2.1 centimeters squared, and I think that's about everything that you need to know. If you have any questions or comments, obviously leave them in the comments area, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. Okay guys, so that just about concludes this video. That mining rig and the new frame that I've built for it is all gone back into the shed, so that should be running nice and cool now, and also help keep this particular room much cooler as well. At one point it did actually go up to 40 degrees, which is absolutely insane. So I'm glad to get this out of this room and back in the shed where it's nice and cool. So like I said, that concludes this video. If you have any questions or comments, as always, just drop those in the comments area below, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. I'll put brief specifications also in the actual sort of description there for you as well, in case that's something that you want to follow as I've done, and build your own sort of GPU rig and frame there. So as always, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.